Publicists' Big Podcast.
I know a guy, he's got a big reach, or the perception is he's got a big reach. So much so that he's got a couple of guys from the Trump administration that he works with. They come on as guests. Now, here's the kicker. This is what he told me, and I could not believe it. They send him the questions that they want him to ask in advance. And I said, what? Are you serious? He said, yeah, that's just how it works. That's not how it works. We're going to talk about it. It's Big Podcast Playbook. My name is David Hooper. You can find me at bigpodcast.com. I have been doing this, and this, meaning podcasting, since 2005. Radio a little bit longer than that. Thousands of episodes, thousands of interviews, and we're going to talk about working with publicists and working with big name, big title, big stature guests on this episode. Regarding these guys from the Trump administration sending in questions ahead of time, that is not how it works. What they are doing is trying to control the narrative. What they are doing is being scared that you might ask something that, one, makes them look bad, two, maybe they don't know the answer to it, that's going to make them look bad, or three, doesn't forward their agenda. And a lot of people feel like that, but that does not mean that that is the way you work. However, so many podcast hosts, so many producers, they are afraid of losing a big name guest, because can you imagine that? You say, oh man, I've got John Smith from the Trump administration. He's going to be on my podcast. It makes you sound like a bigwig. And they're afraid of losing that. So they say, oh, well, no, of course. Yeah, we can just ask those questions. Again, no, that's not how it works. But a lot of publicists, they're going to try to get away with that, even if it's not somebody with that kind of stature. Here is an email that I got from a publicist. I think this is after a text or a phone call. This lady's been tracking me down. And anyway, she's like a pit bull. She latches on. And this is one of the emails that she sent. She said, following up on the interview questions for... He's prepared to talk about these if this aligns with the topics that you'd like to discuss. Please let me know ASAP if you have additional topics, angles that you'd like to cover with him so we can make sure he is prepared for your interview on Thursday. Also, can you please send me your cell number in case there are any issues with the interview the day of? Then she follows it up with 16 questions that she wants me to ask. Or maybe they're suggested questions. I don't know. Sometimes you can do that with certain hosts. Some hosts will be, oh, thank you very much. That's a great question. That's something that I can ask. I'm very busy and I don't want to do my research. And I want to make you look good, and I want to make me look good, so thank you very much. And other hosts are like, hell no, I ask my own questions. That doesn't stop people from doing it. The thing that concerned me with this lady, that this was about the third or fourth follow-up that she had sent. It's email through a web form, maybe a phone call to the studio, and now she wants a mobile phone so she can text me. A lot of those are layered on top of each other. It seems that she's being more aggressive than maybe she actually is, but still, that's pretty aggressive, in my opinion, to not give somebody a chance to follow up on you. But, she's nervous. She's got this guest. He's nervous. And this is what I wrote back to her. That's one of the reasons that I want to do this episode. You have autonomy with your podcast. You are in charge. They are not in charge. It doesn't matter how big the guests are. You are still in charge. Do not get in the habit of letting them run your show. I got your text and I've reviewed your previous emails. To clarify our process, our show is more conversational than question-driven, so we don't work from a predetermined list of questions. The host typically introduces the topic which you submitted when you pitched this guest, and then lets the conversation develop naturally based on where the discussion goes. These guys pitched me. This publicist in particular, she said, I've got this guest. Here's a topic that I think would be a match for your show. I said, yeah. That sounds like a match. Let's go with it. Here's the date and the time I can do it. We will be ready for you. I had the bio. I had the topic. I had everything that I needed to do this interview. If I needed to do a follow-up, a pre-interview, that kind of thing, I could have gone to her. And I could have done that because I had her info. Still, this lady's sending me all sorts of stuff. She doesn't know anything about the format of the show, which, again, she pitched it. She should know what we're doing unless she's blindly pitching. Maybe she lucked out. I don't know. But I told her, I said, this is a live nationwide radio broadcast. The interview will also be replayed on the app. Is your guest comfortable with this format? Now I'm going to break that fourth wall again and talk to you. It seemed to me that with the text, the emails, everything that she's doing to try to get with me, her giving me the questions, everything she's trying to do to get with me and control this thing, that this guest might not be comfortable and he might not be ready for this opportunity. And that's what I told her, back to the letter I sent her. I said, I asked because some of your emails have been very detailed regarding topics, preparation, and logistics, and I want to make sure our interview style aligns with his expectations. We're not a gotcha show, and I have no interest in putting guests in an uncomfortable position. At the same time, because the broadcast is live, we can't stop and restart or edit the conversation once we're on the air, and there's some risk for both of us. Meaning, lady, you are showing up. I don't know if you're a great guest until we hit that red light and you're on the air with us. You don't know if we're going to give you the questions that you can answer until we hit that red light and you are on with us. And I ended the email with this. If that format works for Dr. Fletcher, I think we'll have a great conversation. Now, what I was going to do, I ran this through GPT before I sent that, is tell her to f*** off. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to work with Publicists. What I was going to ask originally, though, is that format okay for Dr. the guest? And the second question, are you comfortable with Dr. You seem nervous, lady. I can't tell you how many times I've dealt with Publicists. Let me bring up another guest that I've got. I haven't interviewed him yet. This guy's coming in for a 45-minute interview. The Publicist is nervous, man. This guy's a social media influencer. He's kind of bought into his own hype, and the only way I can describe it is William Hung. This is a guy who went to audition for American Idol, and it's not bashing William Hung. This happens to the best of us. Somebody, maybe a lot of people, had told him how great he was. Oh, man, you could do it. They gave him all sorts of encouragement, but they weren't really honest with him. He got in a position where he was over his head, and arguably, it was a pretty embarrassing situation. It was, we'll say, a failed tryout. It got a lot of social media attention. It got passed around, and he got a record deal because of it on TVT Records. There are some publicists who will take on somebody like that because that person will give them money. They will then want you to continue that facade by making their guests look better than they actually are, doing something that I would consider is not an accurate interview. And an example of that is the very first thing I said at the beginning of this episode. Some of these guys from government administrations, they are just not that good at doing interviews, and they are controlling a message so tightly, anything outside of that box, that throws the whole thing off. I've got a senator like that. She hasn't had a town hall where she's actually taking questions from the public in years. The only time you're going to see her, and you'll see her a lot, is on media like Fox News where they're throwing her softball questions. Look, if you want to do that kind of show, by all means, do it. But in my opinion, that's not real podcasting. That is doing a scripted performance. And we really don't need you. We could type that script into AI, have 11 labs come up with a voice, and then answer to 11 labs. We don't need you. Are you a journalist? Are you a host? Are you an interviewer? Are you somebody who's going to be conversational? Or are you reading a script? You make the choice with every episode you do. And these publicists, like the one that I'm reading this email from, they will certainly give you the opportunity to read that script. They will certainly give you the opportunity to play small. But if you're looking to grow an audience, you cannot do that. These guys don't care about your audience. They don't care about your numbers. What they care is getting out a message. And they will come to you and they will let you read that script, and they'll let everybody else read the same script. There's no differentiation between you and the next guy because you're all reading the same script. They're reaching their people, which is all new people. You're going back to yours like, this isn't really connecting. If your listener follows up with that guest on another podcast, oh man, I like this guy. He seemed cool. I think it worked. They're going to hear that same script or variation of it. Think, well, wait a minute. They're going to start to question you. So my suggestion, absolutely drive your podcast. You are in charge of that. Do not let other people get behind your mic. Related to this, if you work with a lot of publicists, they're going to want to sit in on something. However you do your remote interviews, and if you do interviews in person, they're going to want to sit in with you. That's the worst. They're sitting in with you, and they'll break in. Oh, man, can you ask about this? Can you stick to the script? They'll start to control your interview. And if you give them an opportunity, give them a voice via something like Zoom, they can break in there too. Oh, he's not going to talk about that. What is this? A court case? Are you the guy's attorney? We're not interrogating him. This is a conversation, man. I'm in charge. So I would suggest that if you get somebody like this, do not let them in on the interview. You do you, man. You're in charge, aren't you? You should be, unless you want to read a script. And if that's the case, go into a drama. Go into a fiction podcast. They got all sorts of scripts, and you can do characters. You don't have to even be yourself. What are your thoughts? You can reach out to me at bigpodcast.com. That is where to find me. It is also where to subscribe to this podcast. I'm here all the time giving you advice on how to grow your podcast, grow your audience, build your audience, make a podcast that people care about, and make a podcast where people will pay you money to sponsor things, to advertise, to reach that audience. Bigpodcast.com is more information, and to subscribe, where you will never miss an episode, go to bigpodcast.com/subscribe. Some people call it a follow. The URL is the same, bigpodcast.com/subscribe. You can follow, you can subscribe. The URL is the same, bigpodcast.com/subscribe. One button for Android, one button for iPhone, and another with an RSS feed where you can listen to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. I got 3 options for you. That's at bigpodcast.com/subscribe. I will see you there. And when you subscribe, I will see you here on the next episode of Big Podcast Playbook.